Hi, welcome to part 2. This is where the fun begins. So, having got our CorelDRAW set up the way we want it, we're going to start using some of these tools on the left hand side here. If you come across, mine is just about here, these are the drawing tools. If you click the little tiny arrow to the right hand side, bottom right hand side, you'll get a lot more options. You've got a freehand tool, 2-point line, Bezier, I think you pronounce it that way, pen, and a few other bits and pieces. To be honest, the two I use mostly are pen and freehand. So I'm going to start with freehand. You'll see the cursor or the arrow changes to a crosshair like this. And if you come across to your page and you hold down your left mouse key, you can literally draw a line. Now, the thing with this is we're learning to draw with vector graphics, and what they mean by a vector line is it means you can manipulate it by a series of nodes, and you can see these nodes there, and you see them as I go over them there. It means in a minute I can change that if I want to. But before I do that, let's have a look at the pen tool next. So back to my little tiny bottom arrow there, and I'm going to choose pen. The difference with this is that you can click it and release your mouse button and then click it again and keep clicking it until you want to join it up maybe, or you want to end it when you double click. You can also bend it a little bit, so first click, and then if I want it here but I want it to bend, you hold it and drag it, and you can see it's bending. Hold the left mouse key, drag it, and you can sort of drag it around places and double click to finish. So just to go back to the pick tool, the top one there, I've changed it to my arrow. If I want to move it, you click it, you hold on to the cross in the middle, and then you can move it anywhere you want to. You can resize it, of course, by holding these little black dots at the side like that. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller just by dragging with your left mouse key. You can make it taller or shorter or fatter or thinner. You can also rotate it, so you either come up to the menu bar up the top here with a little rotating image here and change it, or if you click it again you'll get the rotating arrows, and you can then move it around and round to your heart's content. And the other arrows on here, while we're here, this is a skew button or skew arrows. You can just move it that which way or that which way, any which way that takes your fancy. Okay, so that's what you can do with moving and sizing and rotating. If we want to do something a little bit more clever with it, if I just select it again, come to the next one down, and this one, when you see, is called the shape tool. And the shape, there's 2 or 3. If you look at the little arrow again, you've got the shape, you've got a smooth, a smear, a twirl, attract, repel, smudge and roughen. Most of the time you'll use shape. You might occasionally use smooth. We're going to stick with shape for the moment. Okay, so this is where my zoom bar will come in handy. I want to see what I'm doing. I've got that shape selected. Now if you come up now to the top here, you've got the zoom bar. This, you've got the percentage you're looking at it there. You've got a plus and a minus. So if I click plus, it makes it bigger. Minus brings it back again. The next one along, that one zooms into the selected area. Brilliantly useful. Zoom right in and you get a lovely big image. The next one is zooming into everything. That brings it back to the page. This next one is useful for text. You get it does it so that it's it fills the page. The page is widthwise like that, and that one is up and down. So for the moment I'm going to go to this one, which it says zoom to selected. Click that. Okay, so I've still got my shape tool selected here. Now if you hover over what I call a node, there's the node, and you click on that, I've now selected that node, and what happens is you get up here again, you get all these options for manipulating nodes. Okay, so at the moment my node is, or my line is, a sharp point at this stage here, but I actually want to make it a curve, so I'm going to click that there. Can you see it breaks it? It says there, convert to curve. Click it. Now if we look there, if I drag that, you can see it's dragging, and there's a little arrow here which means that you can pull that and manipulate that any which way you want to. So the more you pull, the more of a curve you get, and the more you pull that way, you get more curve, or less, or bring it back round that way. Okay, let's do this one at the bottom here. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to convert that to curves as well. And there we go, we've got another set of arrows that you can pull any which way, and you can move them down. This is where the manipulation of lines comes into play. That one's not converted to curves yet, so I can convert that one into a curve, and so I've got a few more arrows to play with. And again, that one has got some arrows. You can move it around. If you want some more nodes at various times, you might want another node. If you pop your arrow onto the line where you want the node, click it. If you come up here, you can see there's a plus sign. It adds a node for you, and then you can manipulate that node around. Oops, lost it. There's the arrow. A quicker way is if you double click your line, you get a node straight away. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit now with my minus button up on the zoom toolbar. I'm going to go back to my pick tool over here, and then I can then move it around if I want to. Now sometimes you've done an image and you want to copy it and have another one of those. So what you can do is you can obviously do edit, copy, paste. You can also hit the plus button on your keyboard. So if I hit the plus button now and then move that, you'll see I've got two images. There's another way of doing it, which is a brilliant quick way. If you drag and hold your image, and before you release your left mouse button, you click your right mouse button and then release it, it copies it immediately. So it's fantastic for loads of images. You drag, click, drag, click, drag, click. It's as fast as that. Now I've got lots of funny images here, so I'm going to just show you one more thing on here, which is to mirror and reflect. If you come up here, you'll see there's a mirror horizontally, so we can turn that way. So we could perhaps put that next door to that. We could perhaps have this one where we come up here and you go mirror vertically, so we'll have it that way round. And then I'm going to put that there, and I want another copy of that, and I'm going to do mirror horizontally, and we get that, say there. So we're getting a funny looking pattern. So I'm just going to come back with the zoom bar back to page. Let's get rid of a lot of this stuff. And I think for the moment that will do for this session. Back next time for some more.